Hi, welcome back to Dave's MySQL Basics. I'm often asked, what can you actually store in a database by folks who have never used a database before? Well, if you've been through the previous episodes, you have a rough idea what a database acts like when you talk to one. But now we're going to talk at a high level about what you can actually store in a database. Now, MySQL has several data types, and I'll go through these at a fairly high level, and believe me, we will dig into details into the future. So, first type is integer data. These are numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are integers. Now, for someone just starting off, this is a little bit academic, but you're very going to quickly learn that how you store your data is as important as what you're storing. If you have a very small number and you keep it in a digital box for a very large number, it's not efficient. So you try to want to size your data to where it's going to go. For instance, we have a data type called a tiny int that takes up 1 byte of data. It can hold ranges depending whether the number is signed from 128 negative to 127 positive, or if it's unsigned from 0 to 255. We have other data types. Small int, what takes up 2 bytes. Medium int, what takes up 3 bytes. Integer, which is also, you'll see abbreviated as int, that can take from minus 2 billion to positive 2 billion. If you're doing signed numbers. Unsigned, you can go from 0 to 4 billion. And then there's big int. And these are just some of the options you have here. If you're trying to use your serial numbers, integer might be a good one if you're going to have a couple billion people out there. Big int, if you're trying to keep inventory, you might not want to use big int for that. Well, there's other data types out there. Decimal is used, you'll see it for numeric stuff for storing money. An example, if you have a field that's marked decimal 52, it can hold a range of minus $999 or 99 cents or whatever currency or value you want in there to a positive 999.99. The 5 refers to the 5 places here, and the 2 is for the 2 to the right of the decimal point. We also have float and double. Those are the number of byte precision that you're going to use for the data. Also, we have bit data. This takes a word of storage and lets you store all sorts of little ons and offs, because that's what binary data is. Now, if you're storing just 1 bit, you can have a B of 1 and go up to 64 bits. For example, if you're storing binary 111, that's the number 7, and binary 10000000 is 128. There are date and time fields or data types that we'll go into in excruciating detail. You'll find that date stamp and time stamp are really good if you're recording things like inventory transfers, sales, hire dates, stuff like that. A lot of variation on here. Also, string data, varchar and char. These are your most popular string types. The difference between char and varchar is that if you have a char 128, it takes up 128 places in memory. Varchar 128 might hold up to 129 pieces of memory. There's a marker in there for how long the data actually is. So the char, you might be storing space that's unneeded. Varchar might be a little more efficient. Binary and var binary, similar idea. Blob, this is not for binary large object. The original author said this was for like the blob that ate Cincinnati, if you've ever seen that movie. It's binary data. There's also text data, which is for lots and lots of characters. Enums, which we'll go into in great detail, and sets. Also, there's 2 other types that we'll get to much later. Spatial, this is for longitude, latitude, geometry. By the way, MySQL supports 3D geometry, thanks to the Boost library folks. So if you want to write your own mapping program, the software is there. We also support JSON. This is JavaScript Object Notation. I've actually written a book on this that you can go out there and get. JSON is an interchange format standard for data. And you can hold a gigabyte of a JSON formatted document, and we'll get into that and much, much more later. Now, this is an overview of data types, and we'll start digging these in upcoming lessons.